Hello and welcome. This is Angie with the CountryChicCottage.net, and we're here today to talk about the Cricut EasyPress. So the EasyPress looks like this. So pretty small footprint, and it's actually a heat press to do things with iron-on vinyl. So you can make shirts, you can make tote bags. I have a tote bag here. But today we're going to make a couple of different projects. So we're going to make this coffee sleeve to protect your hand when you're holding your coffee. And then we're going to talk about making finger puppets with felt. So we're going to make a couple different projects today. First, let's talk a little bit about the vinyl we're going to use. So we're going to use iron-on vinyl. Iron-on vinyl, this is the Cricut brand. Comes in a variety of colors and types. So you can get regular iron-on vinyl, which would be, just a regular white or black or just a plain color. You can get foil, so that would be like a more metallic sheen. We're going to use some of that today. And you can get glitter. Also, I'm going to use some of this today. So just be sure when you're purchasing vinyl for iron-on projects that it specifically says iron-on the package so that you get the right product. You also want to make sure to mirror the image when you're cutting it, especially if you have any words like this project, which says good morning on it. Then you just cut it out and get started on your project. So I've already cut some vinyl with my Cricut Maker. Again, I mirrored the image before I cut it, and then I just used a couple of weeding tools to weed any excess away. So you want to weed anything that's around your image, as well as like the center of numbers or letters. Anything excess that you do not want in your project, you want to weed that out. And iron-on vinyl comes with a nice carrier sheet already attached. So this will go, when you're cutting your vinyl, you want to put it with the carrier sheet down or shiny side down. So I put this shiny side down, cut it out with my maker, weeded out the excess, and now we're ready to get started on some projects. So now let's talk about the EasyPress itself. So first of all, if you've ever wanted a big heat press to do your projects and you just don't want to take up that, huge space in your craft room, the EasyPress is definitely the product for you. So like I said, it's a small footprint. Comes just like this with a base to set it in. So the surface itself is about, I would say, like 10 by 10 or 9 by 9. Let's measure it. Okay, so yes, so the surface is about a 9 by 9 surface. So you can do a variety of projects with it, but you can heat one surface, move it, and heat another. So this tote bag, for instance, was made using the heat press, and it's larger than 9 by 9. So all you would do is heat one area according to the directions, and then go to heat the other. So that's one thing I like about it, is its compact size. Doesn't take up a lot of room in my craft space. The other thing I love about it is the fact that I was never able to make iron-on vinyl projects that lasted. They would always last through a couple of washings, and then the vinyl would start to peel up. If you've ever had that experience, it's probably your iron. I tried a variety of different irons. I tried buying a better iron thinking I would get better results. Still, same results. So basically, an iron, it doesn't heat evenly over the entire surface. So while you think you are holding that on there for the recommended amount of time, you are actually not bringing it up to heat for the recommended amount of time, and that's why you get peeling, especially along the edges. The EasyPress, however, gets even heat all the way across that surface. So you're going to get the same heat no matter where on this plate that the vinyl touches or the carrier sheet touches. So that's another thing I like about it, is the fact that I can actually make iron-on projects and give them to people without fear of the vinyl actually lifting up when they wash it, which would be an absolute nightmare, right? So that's another reason I personally love the EasyPress. I've been doing all kinds of iron-on projects now, all because I actually have a machine that can make vinyl projects correctly and not have it come off later in the wash or come off later, just by using it, like in the case of a coffee sleeve. All right, next thing about the EasyPress. It will come with a list of recommended settings. So basically you look up the material that you're using it on, and what kind of iron-on you're using, whether it's foil, metallic, glitter, regular standard, light iron-on vinyl. And then you get the recommended settings for the heat press. So the heat press, you can set the time and the temperature right on the dial. So we're gonna kind of tilt the camera down, show you how to use the EasyPress a little bit, and talk some more about it. First things first, you want to protect your work surface. Cricut recommends a folded up towel. This is just a standard bath towel that I've folded and set to the side. And now we're going to plug in the EasyPress. So once we plug it in, and then just turn the button to turn it on. First of all, you'll see that this is red, meaning it's not brought up to heat. We are going to use our chart to find the recommended time and temperature. So we're going to do it at 285 for 15 seconds. So we'll just hit the temperature button and bump it up to 285. Then we hit the time button, then bump it down to 15 seconds. Now, the Cricut EasyPress will now come to temperature. When it's at temperature, it'll actually beep at me first, and then it will also, this red light will turn to green. So then I know it's ready for my project. And we're gonna start by making the coffee sleeve. So this is felt, Cricut felt, cut out with the Cricut Maker, and as well as some vinyl that says good morning, again cut out with the Maker. So I just cut this out, again mirrored the image, weeded all the excess, including the center of all the letters, as well as around the outside. And how you use the EasyPress. So first of all, we want to heat this surface up just a little bit before we actually put the vinyl into place. So you might have heard it beep, and now the light is green, so that means it's up to temperature and ready to use. So the first thing we're going to do is just heat it just for a few seconds. I don't need the timer for this, I just want to hold it for a couple of seconds on the surface just to heat it up. This also presses out any wrinkles in something like, you know, a cotton surface or something like that. And then you just want to put the vinyl with the carrier sheet attached in place on your project. So that looks good. And now I can take the EasyPress, put it back over here, press the green button, and now it counts down for me. So no more worrying about, did I actually hold that down for that many seconds? Did it actually come up to heat? And when it is finished, counting down, it will beep at me again. So now it's finished. And we actually want to flip it over and heat the opposite side. So we just flip the whole project over, set it down, again hit the green button and let it count down. Now while it's counting down, you want to hold the handle and just give it slight pressure. You don't have to lean on it, you don't have to get on the table and press down really hard. Just slight pressure works fine. And now we've done it on both sides according to the directions. And now you just want to let your project cool slightly before lifting it up and revealing your vinyl. And it really is that easy. There is a reason it's called EasyPress. It's because it is that easy. So now that that's cooled off slightly, we'll just lift it up to reveal our design. And now we have Good Morning in glitter vinyl on a coffee sleeve and ready to finish this project. So if you want the cut files for these, look in the description for this video, head to thecountrysheetcottage.net and you can make this yourself, as well as the instructions for finishing this off and creating this great coffee sleeve. Also today, I want to talk about making finger puppets. So this is a completed finger puppet, but I have a couple in various stages that we're going to try and make. So first of all, this project layers vinyl. So as you can see, I used 2 different colors and layered them. So I wanted to show that and just how easy that is as well with the Cricut EasyPress. So you'll need 2, a front and back, as well as your face, and then the ear and muzzle cut out. So we're going to just add this to one because this is the back, so we'll set that aside. So we'll just add this to the front, and we'll start with the muzzle cut out. And once again, same thing. So you want to set the time and the temperature on the EasyPress to whatever is appropriate for your materials. Let it come to heat. Make sure the light is green. Heat up the material for a few seconds. And this felt tends to stick. Just be very, very careful, or use a set of tweezers. I find that the smaller pieces of felt tend to stick to the bottom. Alright, so now we just place, this is the first color, we're just placing it on the felt, and again, we do the countdown and press down well. So again, we've done the front, flip it over, and we're going to press the back. So now we've added this foil iron-on to the felt, and we have one that's actually cool right here. And so now we can layer our vinyl. So the foil is pressed, and now we have the face, which is out of just a regular iron-on light vinyl. So at this point, you may need to change the settings on your EasyPress. So for polyester and standard light, actually the settings are the same in my case, but always be sure to check that when you're changing either substrates or vinyl, and make sure that your settings are still correct. And then I applied the vinyl into place, but this is still exposed, and you don't want that directly on the EasyPress. So this is the carrier sheet from before, and I'm just going to lay that on top. So all of the vinyl is protected with a carrier sheet. This that I'm pressing now, just one layer, but it is slightly overlapped in between, which is fine. And then we're just going to press the front again. Then turn our project over, press the back. And now, second set of vinyl, both front and back have been pressed. Now you let it cool slightly, and then you can lift it to reveal your final design. Now you have your final design. You have the front and back of the finger puppet, and you can complete your project. Again, the cut files for both the finger puppet as well as the vinyl will be on the countrysheetcottage.net. Check the description, at the bottom, the description for this video for links to those. I'll have the llama as well as the cat up eventually, so keep checking back for files for those finger puppets as well if you would like to make those. So now you've learned a ton about the Cricut EasyPress and just how easy it makes those iron-on vinyl projects. For me, I'm a huge fan. Definitely a product that I would pick up, especially if you're having trouble with iron-on vinyl projects. I think this machine will fix it for you. And also, if you are I would recommend it for occasional users of iron-on vinyl. So if you make iron-on projects for gifts or whatever, the Cricut EasyPress is definitely the solution. If you are using a huge heat press for mass production to sell, like shirts and things like that, the Cricut EasyPress might not be for you, as you would have to press it and hold it, and you can't just do the arm and just let it go. So I think definitely the big heat press still has its place, especially if you're doing things to sell. But if you are just the occasional crafter, check out the Cricut EasyPress. Would highly recommend it. Get started on those iron-on vinyl projects. You've seen how easy they are, and just imagine the gift possibilities, right? From shirts to totes to those coffee sleeves we made. Such great ideas. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Again, check out the description for the video for links to the projects we created today, as well as some other links that you might want to check out using the Cricut EasyPress. So thank y'all so much for joining me today, and don't forget to check out the Cricut EasyPress at a store near you. Thanks, bye.